welcome to my channel. This is Leslie. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am going to be using my Again and Again collection again from Paislee. This came out, I'm not sure, at the end of 2019. It's a beautiful collection. It's got vintage vibes. The colors are sort of muted, but it's not an official vintage collection, but it does look, you know, a little mature. It's a mature collection, let's say it this way. So I'm going to be using this collection to document some of the photos that my aunt took of photos of my grandfather when he was a little boy. And I've got a couple of these photos that I want to document, so I'm going to be using this collection for a couple of layouts that you'll be seeing that'll be coming out in the next couple of weeks. I'll also document not only of my family, but some old photos of Dita's family as well, my husband's family, and I'm going to be placing them all in the same album. I want to use this collection for all of the vintage photos that we've got of our family. So I hope this collection, I hope I've got enough of this collection to document them all. I am working through the patterned papers. I don't usually use lots of patterned papers. I like fussy cutting, so I like fussy cutting a lot of the patterned papers up and using them as embellishments. So for this collection, I decided to go pattern heavy. And I'm going to be using these papers that I have torn up for a previous layout, and I'm just going to be tearing them again and using them in a sort of a horizontal layout or horizontal design for this layout. Now I'm bringing out my happy stitch. I've got some pink happy stitch thread in there. This is specific happy stitch thread. You can get it at scrapbook.com. That's where I got it, and it is amazing. This machine has really has been playing along very nicely with me, and I really like it. Now I do. I didn't, but now I do. I'm going to be zigzag stitching around the edge of this layout. Stitching on a layout sort of, it makes the layout feel a bit more vintage to me. In any case, it reminds me of patchworking or quilting, and yeah, my granny quilts a lot, so that reminds me of her. And yeah, I'm going to be using a photo of when my grandfather was a little boy, and he is posing with his mother and father and brothers and sisters. And I'm just finishing up my zigzag stitching there with my happy stitch. So yes, I haven't seen lots of YouTubers, scrapbooking YouTubers using this happy stitch machine. I don't think I've ever seen anybody using this machine. If you have this machine, please drop a comment below and tell me what you think of it. If you've had any issues with it, if it took you a while to get used to it, or if it was just perfect from the start. Please drop me a comment. I want to feel like I'm not alone in my struggle, but it's sort of fixed itself. Yeah. So I am using this photo of my grandfather. My grandfather is sitting in front. The first boy on the right, that's sitting right in front, that is my grandpappy. That's my grandfather. He's still alive. They live in South Africa. And yes, it's wonderful. I love these old photographs. I wish I had more, because I want to fill up this vintage album of ours, so that I can show my kids where they come from. And you know, this side of the family that I'm scrapping is Scottish and Irish. So yes, my grandfather's, I think, great-grandfather came from Scotland, and his great-great-grandmother came from Ireland, and they got married in Scotland, and then they came to South Africa as settlers. And that is what's going on. My grandfather's family still have a sort of, they're very proud of the fact that they're Scottish. Most of the family is English. Obviously they speak English, but our side of the family turned Afrikaans. So yes, but Anyway, that's enough family history for you guys. I'm going to be using those fussy cut flowers, and I'm just going to be tucking them in behind the layers of paper that I'm using. I pulled out this lace ribbon. I've had this for years, and I've always had the best of intentions to use it, but I've never had the opportunity to use it, and this is the perfect layout and the perfect opportunity to use this ribbon. And as you can see, it's got some red, very thin red ribbon woven in between the little bits, but you're not going to see the red. Obviously the red clashes a lot with this collection. You're not going to see the red. I'm tucking the red in behind the paper, so you're not going to see that. I'm very proud of myself that I'm using this this ribbon. I still have lots of this, not this specific ribbon, but lots of lace ribbon that I want to get through, so I'm going to be using lots of it while I'm making this album, documenting all these vintage photos of my family. So I'm excited that I'm using this, and I'm always very excited when I get to use something in my stash. It feels like an accomplishment that I'm getting something done, that I'm using something up, that it's not just sitting there in the cupboard, you know, wasting away. And obviously this ribbon is old, and as you can see, the sticky stuff behind the ribbon isn't sticky anymore, so I have to add lots of glue to the ribbon to stick it down. Yes, I'm going to be using the same ribbon, just sticking it behind the little pink piece of paper that's there, and I love the effect that that gives. It adds a lot of layering and a lot of dimension to the page as well, and I love the fact that it's sort of this dirty faded ribbon, and it adds to the vintage feel of this layout. So because this ribbon is so dimensional, I have to add some pop dots or some foam squares to the one side or to the top half of my photo, because the bottom half will go over the ribbon, which is dimensional, so it'll all be on the same sort of level. And as you can see, I'm adding some liquid glue and just sticking it on there, and there everything is on the same level now. And I'm adding my fussy cut flowers to the behind the layers, just so that they can peek out from behind the layers, the little surprises. I decided I needed a title on the other side of that pink paper with the golden stars on it, and these titles don't really go with anything I'm documenting, so it is a bit difficult, but I got a title that worked. I am going to be putting that puffy, what do you call it, edge border, puffy little scalloped border to the bottom of my layout. It does add some gold, and therefore I have to add more gold, and then I add some of those puffy little stars to the flowers as well. And as you can see, I'm using sort of a triangle composition here. It's the rule of thirds. I'm just adding some of those gold stars to the flowers so that they can yes, make a little triangle in the layout. I wanted to put that on the, you know, that card that says wonderful. It's dark blue, but I don't do that in the end, and I'm very happy I don't do that in the end. These little tags are very cute. They come perforated, they're attached to each other, and I'm going to tear them apart and just stick them, add them in behind the layers, and that looks very nice. I really liked the way that that looked. I really wish that I could have used more of those little tags or ephemera bits behind my photos, but there's lots of layers in this layout in any case, so I thought that there were enough layers. And here comes Lucy. She's sitting on my lap again. Very interested in what I'm doing, interested in the stitching, in the texture of the stitching, and asking me lots of things. She's not really talking yet, so she's babbling a lot. She's got her own language that she is talking, But yes, we are just waiting patiently for her to start using sentences and things like that. She's a bit late with her talking, but anyway. So I'm going to be using this title that says Little Stories, and yeah, I think it was a very nice, sweet title, and it's gold. Who doesn't like gold? Anyways, this is it for this vintage themed layout of mine. If you like what you see, please give this layout a like, and if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing. See you soon. Bye.